Hello and welcome to the Wireless LAN News Desk on June 15th, 2018. My name is Tom Carpenter and I'm the CTO at CWNP. And this week, I'm going to talk about three things in the news. Now, first of all, we're halfway through the month of June already. And the month's gone by quick. The summer is going to go by very quickly. And before you know it, we're going to be up to the time of Wi-Fi Trek. So Wi-Fi Trek is coming up in October of this year, around 120 days away. If you haven't registered yet, make sure you go to conferences.cwnp.com to get your registration in as quickly as possible. You'll want to make sure that you register early enough so you can have a room at the actual facility where the conference is being held. It makes it a lot more convenient for networking with your peers during the event. So, conferences.cwnp.com to register today. Now, in the news, first of all, we have wireless integrated circuit shipment news. What's the news? The news is that it's expected in 2018 that 55% of all integrated circuit shipments will be for wireless. So if you go back to the 90s and even the last decade, the majority of integrated circuits that were shipped were really related to wired networking. But wireless has taken over. Wireless is the majority and it's going to continue to grow because more and more of the devices that connect to our networks connect using wireless instead of wired. Now it's interesting, this isn't just Wi-Fi, this is Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LTE, cellular, etc. So there are many different chips and wireless technologies that are included in this 55%. But it's important to note that it has taken over the lead in shipments. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, first of all, wireless continues to grow. Wireless isn't going anywhere, and Wi-Fi is growing right along with the other wireless technologies. There doesn't seem to be any slowdown in Wi-Fi growth necessarily. Although, it is interesting to note that we'll talk a little bit later about 802.11ax delays and impact that has had on the industry. We've still seen Wi-Fi growing. The second thing is that, remember, IoT is a major part of the driving factor behind this increase in IC shipments. So since IoT is a big part of it, it means that we should probably be learning about IoT. And IoT is not just about Wi-Fi. Certainly we use IoT devices on Wi-Fi, but there are IoT devices that use cellular LTE, there are IoT devices that use Bluetooth, Zigbee, all kinds of other technologies. So it's good to be familiar with those different technologies from an integration perspective. It's very important for the Wi-Fi professional to know more than just Wi-Fi. We've always said you've got to know wired networking as well as Wi-Fi, but we're more and more needing to know about integration with cellular, Bluetooth, Zigbee, RFID, and other proprietary wireless technologies. All of them, we have to understand how they integrate and work together in this new IoT world. The second thing in the news is an 802.11ax update. This last week, it was announced that it's expected that Draft 3.0 will be ratified in July with enough vote to move forward to final ratification of the standard. So I should say the Draft 3 will be approved with enough vote to move forward to the ratification of the standard. We don't really ratify the draft, we ratify the standard, which is based on the final approved draft. So that's good news, but it does mean that we're probably still looking at early next year before we have the final ratification date, sometime in 2019, because not only does Draft 3 have to be approved, but then we have to go through the process of finalizing the standard and getting the votes in and finally ratifying 802.11ax as an amendment. Now, we've had chips already shipping based on Draft 2.0, and there are consumer devices out. There are a couple of enterprise devices that have been released, but some of the major enterprise vendors have delayed their release of 802.11ax anything because they're waiting for at least Draft 3.0. So we'll probably see in early to mid 2019 all of the vendors are going to have their 802.11ax devices available to us, certainly by the end of 2019. Now, with that said, it's important to keep learning about 802.11ax, but the interesting impact this seems to be having is a look back to 802.11ac Wave 2. For a while, people were kind of holding their breath, saying maybe we should wait for 802.11ax if we're already on 11n, And now people are beginning to do deployments, new purchases right now of 802.11ac Wave 2 APs in order to get their network up to the performance they want in this modern world, because the performance improvements of AX are expected to be marginal over AC Wave 2. There is a motivation to go ahead and move forward for some companies. So 802.11ax is still coming. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about today is a bit of congratulations. So for the last 2 years, 2017 and 2016, one airport has won every year for Ookla's release of the fastest airport Wi-Fi, and that has been the Denver airport. So the Denver airport has been winning this battle, but guess what? They're not winning anymore. There is a new kid on the block that needs congratulations, and that's in Seattle. It's SEA-TAC Airport. SEA-TAC Airport actually accomplished 103 megabits per second in Ookla's tests, whereas Denver is at 78.7 megabits per second. So we have a new leader by a significant margin. Denver is second place in these tests. So we're talking about somewhere around 25 megabits per second faster at SEA-TAC. So if you get a chance to fly through there, test the Wi-Fi yourself and maybe tweet about it and let us know if you're hitting those kinds of speeds. And test Denver, see if Denver beats SEA-TAC. But this is good. If you're going to provide Wi-Fi for free at the airport, make that complimentary Wi-Fi, well, complimentary to the airport. Cause it to give compliments to the airport because the Wi-Fi is good, right? We want to give good if we're going to give at all. Now, it's important to note that in Canada, we have a couple of poor performers. They've improved. They've improved over last year, but they are Toronto and Montreal, not Tontreal, Toronto and Montreal. And they were some of the poorest, the slowest speeds. They've improved, but they're still the slowest speeds. They've improved to Toronto at 7.1 megabits per second and Montreal at 6.4 megabits per second. So come on, speed it up in there, Canada. We need faster Wi-Fi when we fly through your airport. So that's some congratulations for SEA-TAC for winning the war this year. And hey, all of the airports, listen up, take a lead from these airports like Seattle and Denver that are doing a good job at providing high-speed Wi-Fi. Complimentary is the key. They're not making you sign up for Boingo or some other hotspot service. They're just giving you good, fast Wi-Fi. And that's the way it should be. Well, that's all I have for the news desk today. If you haven't signed up for Wi-Fi Track, remember, go ahead and do that. If you haven't subscribed to the CWNP TV YouTube channel, make sure you click below to do that. And you can click the bell in order to be notified when we post new videos, whether those are webinar archives or the news desk each week at 1:30. Thanks for visiting with me, and I'll see you again next week.